Listening to the clean, chill side of Opeth always makes me think of a dreary, rainy day in January and makes me want to sit in a dimly lit room with some ambient lighting and a nice candle lit next to me. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lowen University, and this week I'm excited to cover Opeth, a band I really love. And I first kind of found out about them when Dream Theater took them out on one of those Progressive Nation tours back in the mid-2000s. I think it was 2008. And I first heard about them, and I immediately gravitated to 3 or 4 of their albums, Blackwater Park, Damnation, Deliverance, Ghost Reveries, and I really honestly did not look further. I'm kind of a lazy music fan. Those are the 4 albums I remember buying on iTunes, if you remember that. I don't know if iTunes is even still around or in use, but I admittedly had not checked out a lot of their earlier stuff. And I'm a big fan of what Martin Mendez does on bass, but I understand that their first 2 records had a different player by the name of Johan De Farfalla, if I'm saying that right. So this is from their second studio album called Morningrise. This is the track To Bid You Farewell. And I understand that he played fretless predominantly and had a really jazz fusion-y imprint on those records. So let's jump in. This is To Bid You Farewell by Opeth. They do the clean, chill stuff so well. It's absolutely my favorite aspect of the band. So lyrical. Key of E minor. Tasteful, for sure. This is... I wish it was raining right now outside. I really do. Kind of going down to a B minor A thing here. That first part is very lyrical. I'm really gravitate toward this style of bass playing. Melodic, it really supports everything else going on melodically. It really gets inside of the guitar part and can follow it, but it can kind of deviate when it feels like it. And, that's kind of the mindset I've always taken with bands I've played in, Scale the Summit, Tetrafusion. I think about where's the empty space in the recording and how can I occupy it and give space to the other instruments, but not step on them and maybe support them and complement them as much as possible. And right off the bat, this is kind of the mindset I feel this bass player was in, Johan. So we're in the key of E minor, doing some nice moving arpeggio lyrical lines. And one of the great things about fretless bass, and I regretfully sold my one from 10 years ago, it was a 1988 Fender Jazz with a Japanese neck. I have no idea why I sold it. It's so stupid of a decision. I guess the $500 I got for it back then was worth it. But I'm going to get another one day because years later, I understand how cool a fretless bass is, and you just can't emulate that on a fretted instrument. But it has this vocal melody timbre to it. It can be very expressive, and I just love what I'm hearing so far. B to A, G. Ooh. Harmonics. Kind of going between G, A, and B. I'm going to see if he does those harmonics again. That was really cool. I love harmonics. Love that little kind of a leading tone harmonic minor thing. I think so. Let me hear it again. A. Oh, yeah, F sharp. Kind of resolves back to that B minor. Really like that sound. There it is again. Okay, I'm not hearing the harmonics again, but I want to go back and catch them because it was just cool. It caught my ear. Okay, it just sounds like an A harmonic. But nonetheless, it pops out, and I love when bass players use harmonics really subtly like that. It pops out. You can, ring out a bass note under it, so I can be playing any sort of line and just add if I want, or in this case. And the timbre is so different than a normal bass note. It just adds a little ear candy to the composition, and it's one of the reasons I always use them, because it can be so beautiful. So much possibility there with harmonics. Cross stick on the drums. Bass is really playing around with some of those upper level extensions. They might be thirds, but bass players, we stick to root notes a lot. He's really kind of sticking in that fifth, third, kind of catching those, which is this, the third of that resolve chord. Tasteful stuff, keeping the tonal thing held down with the root notes, but playing around in those upper extensions, and it really kind of fills in what the guitar's doing. It's a great style of playing. Kind of still staying here in B minor, A, G area. More driving, cool. This is almost kind of like a bass feature. Harmonic again. I think he added one extra one there. Again, just a little ear candy. When you do it sparingly, it really pops out, adds a lot. Ooh, down to D minor. Nice. So dynamic. Up to B flat. Yes, this is a blind reaction. I promise I've never heard this. I do have perfect pitch. I don't know if I've mentioned in other videos. It's both a blessing and a curse, but it does help me figure out songs by ear pretty quickly. So just wanted to point that out. I've never heard this track before. And again, as I said, I've really never listened to anything from Orchid or Morningrise, doing some research. I kind of started my Opeth journey around, I don't know what's first, but I remember Damnation was one of the first records I listened to, and that's still one of my most played Opeth records. So I just love this side of the band. Kind of like in the last video I talked about Orion, Metallica always had this really melodic side of them that gave so much context to the really heavy stuff. And I feel like that applies with this band as well. You got the fans that love the chill stuff. You got the fans that love the really intense growl, death metal sound. And it just shows, the full spectrum this band can really, excel at. It's pretty impressive. Vocals, okay.
Gazing modestly through the coldest morning, ones that came you alive, embracing us over
my own harmonic. Ooh. Little guitar melody.
I stand motionless in the parade of
So pretty.
falling rain. Your voice I cannot hear.
Bass kind of going back in the background now, which you should always do every now and then.
Falling again.
They leave so much space here. I noticed that a lot about the chill side of Opeth. It's very dynamic. I just feel like I'm in the room. You can kind of hear every little echo and these little guitar things coming in on the left and right. Up to E minor, cool. Back to bass. Kind of doing some double stops. Kind of sounds like fifths or fourths or something. Let's see. Might have been thirds. Very Pink Floyd thing there. Now it's kind of trippy. I'm glad I lit this candle. This is really adding a lot to the ambiance here. Just kind of taking it down. So many little layers going on here. So again, you know, this bass melody kind of came in. And now I find this a lot in songs. It becomes the ostinato. Now it's in the background and a new layer is introduced. Just great writing for sure. Guitar's kind of building to something here. Whoa. I did not expect that. Kind of cool. Little dabble of the metal intro here. I like it. Really great build. And the mixing, it reminds me of kind of early Metallica, just those kind of dry, distorted guitars. It's kind of was a thing of that 90s production. And whether that has something really to do with it or not, that's just kind of what it reminds me of. Goes down a little F sharp. And this is a great masterclass on, bass going into the spotlight, doing some really beautiful dynamic stuff, even taking kind of a mid approach where it still has a melody, but it's not the main melody. And in these heavier sections, get out of the way, let the guitars, let the vocals in. I mean, the whole, we're 8 minutes and 38 seconds in. The bass has just really told a story. Out in the spotlight, back restrained, back out with a melody, little ear candy here and there. I love it. Just a well-rounded, thought-out piece. Really dig this. Ooh. It's a little nylon guitar for just a couple bars. I thought it was going to go back into that. So let's see where it keeps going. Halftime, kind of slowing down. Kind of hard to distinguish what's what there. Sounds like the guitar is doing more of the clean double stops. The bass is catching some of these root notes. But I think I might hear a little upper lead harmony or something in the bass. Either way, it's really cool. Now we're on the nylon guitars.
We walk into the night,
and Mikael's voice, just so ethereal. And I love, again, I'm going to keep saying it, I love the chill, clean side of Opeth. The instrumentation, melodies, the chords, just the dark, melancholy nature of it is awesome. But his voice just has this really soft delivery, but it's got like a cutting, airy breathiness to it that just, I think, complements the rest of the mood of the song. That I've always loved that. Songs like Window Pane or In My Time of Need, Damnation. That's probably my favorite Opeth album. I think his voice is just perfect for it. It's breathy and it sounds so big, but being just so right up the center. And it just matches the vibe of the song. It's really great.
Why can't you see that I tried? When every tear I shed is for you.
It's kind of like the bass melody there. So that was really great. Again, I'm not familiar with the early Opeth stuff, but I see that they started this kind of chill, really melodic side of their discography very early on. I thought that might have been just something introduced with Damnation. I don't have a lot of context on their entire chronology and discography, but they clearly were, foreseeing this would be a a crucial part of their sound early on. And this just sounds like all the more modern stuff I love too. So I need to go back and really listen to the rest of this record and even check out Orchid, which I believe is their first one. But yeah, one of the main things I saw was that Johan had a really nice fretless jazz touch, and it, Martin Mendez has really kind of carried that same expressiveness. And one of the things I love about fretless is that it reminds me of a person talking, kind of like me here. It's like if I put on auto tune and all my notes snap to really, pitches, like it's snapped to pitch, kind of like a fretted instrument does. You get that sound, but nobody speaks that way. I'm kind of, I'm talking right now. I'm kind of going up in pitch. I'm going kind of down. I'm not really staying on any one. And that's kind of the way you play fretless. You kind of, when I first got one, a lot of the educational content about playing fretless was play like you're talking, kind of go in and out of the notes and don't really stay in one place too long, and do it in a way that adds expressiveness to the line. And that's really what I think was demonstrated very well here. And really big fan. I need to go check out the rest of this record. Thank you so much for watching. This was a real treat to listen to. Kind of put me in a calm, chill vibe, which is why I always gravitate toward this side of Opeth. But please like the video, give it a thumbs up. Comment if you'd like to see more Opeth. They have such a wide breadth of songs that are great. It was a tough choice on which one to do, but I had not heard this one and frequently saw it come up in a few comments. Make sure you're subscribed, and we will see you next week. Cheers.